Look at him. My ex-wife laughed through the video call, her new boyfriend's arm draped across her shoulders. Still wearing that sad jacket from Goodwill. Marcus, you're an embarrassment to this family. Her mother leaned into frame, champagne glass raised. We're having filet mignon tonight. What are you having, Marcus? Cup noodles. It was Christmas Eve. Snow falling outside the window of my childhood home. My sister recording everything on her phone, giggling. My father standing in the doorway, silent, ashamed of the son who'd given up after the divorce. You need to leave, my brother said, already holding my coat. We invited successful people tonight. You don't fit anymore. I looked at each of them. 5 years of silence, of playing small, of letting them think I'd fallen apart. 5 years of watching my ex-wife parade her new life while I supposedly struggled. 5 years of being the family failure. I stood up, pulled on that Goodwill jacket, and said 6 words that made no sense to them. My plane lands in 20 minutes. 3 hours later, my Gulfstream G650 touched down at the private airport 12 miles from their house. By morning, the family who called me trash would be working for me. And my ex-wife's rich boyfriend? He'd be begging me not to destroy the company I'd secretly owned for 3 years. This is the story of the best Christmas gift I ever gave myself. Revenge served so cold it came with its own private jet. Let me take you back 6 years. I was married to Catherine, the girl I'd loved since college. She was fire and ambition, the kind of woman who walked into rooms and changed the temperature. I was the quiet one, the tech guy who spent 18 hours a day building something nobody understood yet. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Austin. Nothing fancy. I drove a 10-year-old Civic. Ate lunch at my desk. Wore the same rotation of 5 shirts because shopping felt like wasted time. Every dollar, every minute, every ounce of energy went into the platform I was building. It's going to change everything, I'd tell her over cheap takeout. 3 more months. Maybe 6. Once we crack the enterprise model. Marcus, she'd interrupt, scrolling through Instagram, looking at her friends' vacation photos. It's been 4 years. We still can't afford a house. My sister just bought a BMW. What am I supposed to tell people you do? I'm building a fantasy. You're building a fantasy while I work double shifts at the hospital to keep us afloat. She wasn't wrong about the shifts. Catherine was an ICU nurse, brilliant and tough, carrying us financially while I bootstrapped a company on developer wages and hope. The plan was always that she'd suffer short-term for long-term glory. That's what I told her. That's what I believed. But somewhere between year 3 and year 5, her belief ran out. I remember the night everything cracked. I'd been in the garage for 36 hours straight, finally solving the encryption problem that had blocked our B2B launch. I came inside at 4 a.m., exhausted, triumphant, ready to tell her we'd made the breakthrough. She was sitting at the kitchen table, dressed up, makeup done, overnight bag by the door. I met someone, she said. Not, we need to talk. Not, I'm unhappy. Just I met someone, like she was telling me about a new coffee shop. His name is David. He's a pharmaceutical rep. He has a condo downtown, drives a Porsche, takes me to restaurants with wait lists. She looked at me, and there wasn't anger in her eyes. Just pity. He treats me like I matter, Marcus. Like I'm worth more than server space and code. Catherine, I want a divorce. The words came so clean, so practiced. She'd been planning this. Probably for months. The company's about to. The company's always about to. I'm done waiting for a future you can't deliver. She was gone by sunrise. Took her clothes, her nursing textbooks, the coffee maker I'd bought her for our anniversary. Left behind the wedding photos, the shared dreams, the life we'd built on ramen and promises. I didn't fight her. Didn't beg. I signed the papers, gave her half of nothing. We had $14,000 in savings and $89,000 in debt, and watched her move into David's downtown condo with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the river. 2 months later, my platform went live. 6 months after that, we had 12 enterprise clients. A year later, Microsoft offered me $40 million to acquire. I turned them down. Not because the money wasn't good. Because I finally understood something Catherine never did. You don't sell the thing that's about to make you untouchable. After Catherine left, I did something most people don't have the discipline for. I disappeared. Deleted social media. Changed my number. Moved to a small apartment in a different part of Austin. Told my family I was figuring things out and went dark. My parents thought I was depressed. My siblings thought I'd given up. Catherine told everyone I'd fallen apart without her. I let them think it. Let them tell their stories. Let Catherine post photos with David, captions about finally being with a real man and knowing my worth. Let my brother-in-law make jokes at Thanksgiving about his failed founder, brother-in-law. Because while they were talking, I was building. The Microsoft offer was just the beginning. 3 more acquisition attempts, each bigger than the last. I turned them all down. Instead, I took funding from a single-family office in Singapore, people who understood that some platforms don't need to be sold, they need to own the infrastructure everyone else runs on. We scaled quietly. No TechCrunch articles. No conference appearances. No victory laps. Just ruthless, silent growth. My platform became the backbone for cloud security across 70% of Fortune 500 companies. The thing people used but never saw. The invisible giant. By year 2, I was worth $200 million on paper. By year 4, $2.3 billion. By year 6, when that Christmas Eve video call happened, my net worth had crossed $30 billion and fewer than 50 people on Earth knew my name. I lived modestly on purpose. Kept the old Civic. Rented a small apartment. Wore clothes from Target and thrift stores. Not because I had to. Because invisibility was leverage. The moment people knew what I had, they'd want something. Want access. Want to rewrite history. So I let Catherine show off David's Porsche on Instagram. Let my family pity me at holidays I stopped attending. Let the world think Marcus Chin was the guy who almost made it and couldn't recover from divorce. Every assumption they made was a weapon I was storing for later. I hadn't been home for Christmas in 4 years. Made excuses. Work. Travel. Not feeling festive. My mother would call, voice tight with disappointment, and I'd promise, maybe next year. But last year, my sister Emma called with a different energy. Marcus, you need to come home this year. Emma, I don't think. Catherine's going to be here. That stopped me. Why would Catherine be at our family Christmas? Mom invited her. They stayed close after the divorce. Catherine comes to book club, helps Dad with his diabetes management. You know how she is. She's family, Marcus. Divorce doesn't change that. I let the word settle. My ex-wife, who'd left me for someone with a nicer car, had somehow become more family than I was. She's bringing David, Emma continued. He's apparently doing really well. VP at the pharmaceutical company now. Mom wants everyone to meet him. Show that we're mature. That there's no bad blood. And you want me there too, what? Prove I'm fine. Honestly? Mom thinks seeing you will be good for Catherine. Help her remember you're not the villain. That you've moved on. Moved on. Like I was the project. The rehabilitation case. Plus, Emma added, voice dropping, it would be good for you to see her happy. Might give you closure. Closure. That word people use when they want you to swallow pain and call it healing. I'll think about it, I said. I thought about it for 3 minutes. Then I called my assistant. Book the Gulfstream for December 24th, Austin to Georgetown Municipal. Departure 8 p.m. Personal trip, Mr. Chin? Family reunion. I arrived at my parents' house at 6 p.m., before the dinner party started. Knocked on the door I used to walk through without knocking. My mother answered, and her face went through 3 expressions in 2 seconds. Surprise, concern, pity. Marcus. You came. Oh, honey, we weren't sure. She hugged me, and I felt how fragile she'd gotten. Come in, come in. Let me take your coat. Oh, is this new? She was looking at my jacket. Tan canvas, fraying cuffs. I'd bought it at Goodwill 3 days ago specifically for this moment. Yeah, I said. Found a good deal. Her smile went sad. Behind her, my father appeared, handshake firm but eyes distant. The look of a man who'd given up on his son's potential. Marcus. Good to see you. How's work? Steady. You know, getting by. He nodded like he'd expected nothing more. The house smelled like roasted meat and pine. Decorations everywhere, the kind of Christmas that costs money and requires planning. My sister's kids running around in new clothes. My brother checking his phone, probably coordinating something important. Emma in the kitchen, laughing with someone I couldn't see yet. Then Catherine walked out. She looked good. Better than good. Hair longer styled. Dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent used to. Confidence that came from being wanted. David followed her, tall, tan, watch catching the light. "Marcus," she said, and her voice had that careful kindness people use with the wounded. "You made it. Wouldn't miss it." She introduced David. Firm handshake, the kind men give when they've already won. "Good to meet you, man." Catherine's told me a lot. I bet she had. Dinner was exactly what I expected. I got seated at the end of the table, next to my nephew who spent the meal on his iPad. Catherine and David held court in the middle, telling stories about their vacation to Turks and Caicos, their new appliances, David's promotion. My mother kept glancing at me, that pity deepening every time Catherine laughed at something David said. After dessert, someone suggested a video call with Emma's in-laws in California. They set up an iPad on a stand, gathered everyone around for a group shot. Holiday cheer. Family unity. I stayed in the background. Invisible as usual. That's when Catherine tilted the camera toward me. "Oh, and this is Marcus. My ex-husband. He's doing his best." The in-laws made sympathetic noises. Someone asked what I did for work. "Tech stuff," I said. "Consulting." "He used to have this startup," Catherine added, voice bright with the cruelty of concern. "It didn't really work out. But he's finding his way. Aren't you, Marcus?" David's arm went around her shoulders. "Yeah, man. It's tough out there. But you know, if you ever need connections, I know some people in pharmaceutical sales. Steady money, good benefits." My brother laughed. "Marcus in sales? Come on, David. He can barely make eye contact." Everyone laughed. Good-natured ribbing. Family jokes. Catherine's smile was radiant. That's when my mother leaned into frame. Champagne flushed, feeling generous. "We're having filet mignon tonight. What are you having these days, Marcus? You look thin." "I eat fine, Mom." "He probably can't afford what we're having," my brother muttered, not quite under his breath. Catherine tilted her head. "Marcus, are you still in that apartment near the highway? The one with the weird smell?" I moved. "Oh, good. Where to?" I could have ended it there. Could have smiled and deflected. But I looked at Catherine, at David's smug face, at my family's pity, and decided Christmas had come early. "I have a few places. Depending on where I'm working." "A few places?" Emma laughed. "Marcus, you don't have to." "Look at him," Catherine interrupted, and her voice had an edge now. The cruelty wasn't masked anymore. Still wearing that sad jacket from Goodwill. "Marcus, you're an embarrassment to this family." My mother didn't correct her. Catherine's mother, who joined the video call, raised her champagne glass. "We're having filet mignon tonight. What are you having, Marcus?" "Cup noodles." The room erupted in laughter. My nephew looked up from his iPad, confused. My father stared at his plate. David leaned back, completely comfortable. "Hey man, no shame in struggling. We all go through rough patches. Some of us just recover better than others. I want you to stop and think about something. How many times have you sat in a room while people who claimed to love you treated you like you were less? How many times did you bite your tongue because speaking up would make things worse? If you've been there, subscribe. Because what Marcus does in the next 60 seconds will make every humiliation you've ever swallowed feel validated." I stood up slowly. Every eye turned to me. Catherine's smile flickered, probably worried I'd make a scene, cry, prove her point about how pathetic I'd become. I pulled on that Goodwill jacket, buttoned it carefully. "You need to leave," my brother said, already standing, already holding my coat like I was a guest who'd overstayed. "Marcus, come on. We invited successful people tonight. You don't fit anymore." My sister looked away. My mother's mouth opened, but nothing came out. David whispered something to Catherine that made her laugh. I looked at each of them. Took my time. Let the moment stretch. Then I checked my watch. Patek Philippe Nautilus. I'd worn it under my sleeve all night. Now I let it show. My plane lands in 20 minutes, I said. Silence. Complete, confused silence. You're what? Emma said. The room went silent in a different way. David's mouth opened. Nothing came out. My brother, who worked in finance, whispered, "That's not possible." ZSI, I continued, provides cloud security architecture for about 70% of Fortune 500 companies, including, David, the parent company that owns yours. I smiled. Actually, funny story. I acquired a controlling stake in Meridian Pharmaceuticals about 3 years ago. Passive investment. Haven't done much with it yet. David stood up, chair scraping. You're lying. Am I? Check your stock portfolio. See who your biggest shareholder is. I'll wait. He pulled out his phone. Hands shaking. Catherine grabbed his arm. David, he's messing with you. Marcus doesn't. Oh my God, David whispered, staring at his screen. Oh my God, Catherine. He's the Chin Group. That's him. The what? The Chin Group owns 42% of Meridian. They've owned it since. He looked at me. Since 3 years ago. Right around when you made VP, I said. Congratulations on that promotion, by the way. I approved it. Thought you seemed ambitious. Didn't realize you were sleeping with my wife at the time, but honestly, it didn't affect the decision. You're good at your job, David. I wouldn't take that from you. Catherine had gone white. Marcus. Stop. Stop what? Telling the truth? You wanted everyone to know how successful David is. I'm just adding context. My mother finally found her voice. Marcus, I don't understand. If you have money, why didn't you tell us? You never asked, Mom. You asked if I was okay. If I'd moved on. If I needed help finding work. You never asked if I'd succeeded. You assumed I hadn't because I didn't perform success the way you understand it. Emma was scrolling her phone now, frantic. Marcus Chin, CEO of Zenith Security. Forbes' estimated net worth. She looked up, face strained. $30 billion. $32 billion as of last quarter, I corrected. But who's counting? My father sat down heavily. 6 years. You've had this for 6 years and said nothing. Not 6 years. Built it over 6. There's a difference. When Catherine left me, I was worth maybe $2 million on paper. The real money came in years 3 through 5. The last 18 months? That's when it became untouchable. Catherine was shaking her head. No, you were in that apartment. You drove that Civic. I still drive that Civic sometimes, I said. It's reliable. And the apartment near the highway? I kept the lease. I work there when I need to think. Turns out you don't need a mansion to build an empire, Catherine. You just need people to underestimate you. She stood up, tears forming. You let me leave. You let me think you were nothing. I was nothing. To you. You made that clear. If I'd known. You'd have what? Stayed? Loved me for my money instead of leaving me for David's? That's not the defense you think it is. David was still staring at his phone, probably calculating what this meant for his career. Smart enough to know that being on the bad side of your company's primary shareholder was a death sentence. Am I fired? He asked quietly. No, I said. You're good at your job. Like I said, this isn't personal, David. You didn't know who I was when you started sleeping with my wife. How could you? I made sure nobody knew. Then why tell us now? Emma asked. Why come here and do this? I looked at my sister. You called me. Told me I should come see Catherine happy. That it would give me closure. So here I am. Closed. I reached into my jacket, that Goodwill jacket they'd mocked, and pulled out an envelope. Set it on the table in front of my mother. What's this? She whispered. Open it. She did. Inside was a check for $500,000 and a deed. That's the house you and Dad always wanted. The one on Lake Travis. I bought it 6 months ago. Was going to give it to you for your anniversary next year, but tonight felt more appropriate. My mother's hands shook. Marcus, we can't. You can. It's yours. Free and clear. No mortgage. I paused. I also paid off Dad's medical debt from his surgery last year. The one you thought I didn't know about because you didn't want to burden me. My father's face crumpled. Son, I'm not done. I looked at Emma. Your husband's business? The one that's been struggling? I bought the debt from his creditor. Forgave it. He'll get the paperwork next week. Emma started crying. And Marcus Jr.'s college fund? I nodded to my brother. I seeded it with enough for 4 years at any school he wants. Full ride. My brother couldn't speak. I turned to Catherine. I can't help. Not because I won't. Because you didn't want help. You wanted comfort. Safety. Someone who'd already won. I smiled, and it wasn't cruel. Just sad. I hope David gives you that. I really do. He seems like a good man. Better than I was when you knew me. She was sobbing now. Marcus, please. Please what? Take you back? Buy you something? I'm not here for reconciliation, Catherine. I'm here because my sister said I needed closure. Turns out she was right. I picked up my coat, my real coat, the one I'd left in the car. Loro Piena cashmere. For $1,000. I'd never worn it around them. My pilot's waiting. I have a meeting in Singapore tomorrow morning. But I wanted to stop by. Give you your gifts. Let you see that I'm not homeless trash. I paused at the door. Oh, and Emma? You can stop pitying me. I've been fine for a long time. You just couldn't see it. My mother called after me. Marcus, wait. Please. We didn't know. I stopped. Turned. That's the problem, Mom. You didn't know because you never looked. You saw what you expected to see. The failure. The embarrassment. The son who couldn't recover. I opened the door. Cold air rushed in. Merry Christmas. I walked to the car, Tesla Model S, parked 3 blocks away so they wouldn't see it, and drove to the airport. My pilot had the jet ready. Heated cabin. Champagne on ice. Flight plan filed. As we lifted off, I looked down at the neighborhood. All those houses lit up with Christmas lights. All those families inside, probably having better nights than the one I just left behind. My phone buzzed. Text from Catherine. I made a mistake. Can we talk? Then David, please don't fire me. I'll resign if you want. Just don't destroy my career. My brother, I'm sorry. I didn't know. None of us knew. I turned off my phone. Revenge isn't about making people suffer. It's about making them see. See what they missed. See what they threw away. See who they became when they thought no one was watching. Catherine didn't leave me because I was poor. She left because she couldn't see past the present. Couldn't imagine that the man coding in a garage might be building something bigger than a Porsche and a downtown condo. My family didn't reject me because I failed. They rejected me because I didn't succeed in ways they could photograph and brag about. And tonight, I didn't come home to hurt them. I came home to show them that their version of success, the kind you wear and drive and post about, is the smallest, most fragile kind there is. Real success is the kind no one sees coming. So here's my question. If you had $30 billion, would you have stayed quiet for 5 years? Would you have had the discipline to let them call you trash while you built an empire they couldn't comprehend? Most people wouldn't. Most people would have bragged at the first million. Posted the first success. Needed the validation. But the people who understand true revenge, the kind that changes everything, those people know silence is the most expensive luxury there is. If you get it, if you've ever played the long game while everyone counted you out, subscribe. This channel is for you. For people who understand that the best revenge isn't loud. It's inevitable. And if you still haven't subscribed after watching a man reclaim his dignity on Christmas Eve, I need you to tell me why in the comments. What's it going to take? What are you afraid of? Because I'm giving you the blueprint for winning quietly, and you're standing outside looking through the window. Come inside. Or explain why you won't. New stories every day about the people who broke us and the empires we built from the pieces. Because sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is becoming someone your past wouldn't recognize.